Notre Dame. Notre Dame. How psyched is Treetop that Notre Dame wins by 4 touchdowns? And what do they get? 254 yards, 251 yards of total offense. Caleb Williams has 3 interceptions in the first half, and everybody's saying how he's overrated. Caleb Williams is not overrated. USC is overrated. That defense is overrated. That's what's really overrated. But the offense, no. Crystal Alquez, whatever. Hey, you've joined. You want to talk sports? Bring it on. I want everybody to talk sports. Josh says, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's been a bit, but we're back. Notre Dame, huge win, 48-20, as I said. Caleb Williams had a shitty first half. UNC, Tez Walker, hey, you suspend him basically. He was out for the season, came back last week. He said last week was more of a rush job. This week, 3 touchdowns. Now, they were up 35-17, and then they went 41-31. It got a little ugly at the end, but good God. And I was like, geez, Louise. Now, my fantasy, I did well on Thursday night, 16 straight for KC over the Broncos. And what did Russell Wilson throw for 95 yards? They got a lot of problems there. What are they, 1-5 now? The Chiefs, they basically, it was a field goal day. They kicked 1 touchdown and field goals. The offense, what does it matter? You're winning. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were at the SNL. They're having a lovely weekend in Tribeca at her wonderful little swanky apartment. What is it, like 55,000 square feet? I'm watching Baltimore up 24-13. I thought they're up 18-3 at the half. It should have been a bigger lead. But the one good thing is that Tucker today has 19 points, which I'm pumped about. And Derrick Henry had, 13 yards in the first half, 3 points. Then he had a 60-yard run in the second half, over 100 yards today. They made it a little close. Lamar Jackson, and I love Lamar Jackson. He does not throw a nice ball. There was a lot of open receivers. He's getting the job done, but there is no touch on my man Lamar, and I love Lamar. But, he really thrown a lot of sloppy passes, had a bad interception. But the defense, there was a helmet-to-helmet. Kyle Hamilton, the first-round pick a couple years ago out of Notre Dame, helmet-to-helmet. I don't know how you stop that stuff. You're coming in at a guy. You're going full throttle. It's hard to pull back, whatever you want to call it. So he got thrown out. Yeah, listen, that guy was in La La Land on that play. And Tannehill went out. So Malik Willis, the third round pick at a Liberty, he's in the game, but this game's pretty much over. They're down by 11 with 3:21 left. They got to get a touchdown here. And I was debating, should I play C.J. Stroud or Goff today? Goff is going against the Creamsicle Bucks. The Bucks are wearing Creamsicle uniforms today. And I love those uniforms. I really do. And the Giants, no Daniel Jones tonight. So it's Tyrod Taylor, who is making an average of $5.5 million as one of the highest paid backups in Buffalo, where Josh Allen is 4-0 on Sunday Night Football. And the Jets, no DJ Reed. Sauce Gardner said he feels fine, but he's out in the concussion protocol, which protects the players. He says, I feel fine. And they're going against the Eagles today at 4:25. That's going to be ugly. I watched that fighter from Australia, Zoo. I watched the replay, 12-round decision. I was like, and I'm glad that Logan and Jake Paul are fighting because no one cares. And then the security came in. It was a disqualification yesterday. I'm like, does anybody care if Logan and Jake Paul ever fight again? Is that fighting? No, that's not fighting to me. That's nothing to me. That's pathetic. Michigan yesterday, they start off slow. Like, they'll win 52-7 today. They beat Indiana. They were down 7-0 at the end of one and scored 52 unanswered to beat Indiana 52-7. That game was ugly. And Michigan always, there's always good stats. So Michigan is the first Big Ten team to score 30-plus points and allow 14 or fewer points in the first 7 games since 1905. Now, they did beat Bowling Green, who went to Georgia Tech and won at Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech actually beat, that whole Miami where they pulled up a Sarchek. Instead of taking a kneel, they went for a run, fumbled it, and then on the last play of the game, Georgia Tech, Hail Mary, wins the game where, and then they lost today. The U is not the U anymore. U is just not that. They're not a good team. And the glory days are long, long gone. They paid all this money to get Navarro. Wait, is that his name? No, that's not. I'm getting confused. Who? Miami head coach. No, Cristobal. Marco Cristobal. They paid all the money to get Cristobal. from Oregon, and he sucks. And the U is it's embarrassing how much they've fallen from the greats. And I was like, oh my god. So that happened last week. I saw that Stockton soccer won yesterday 5-1. SUNY Morrisville had 100 yards of offense, and they lost yesterday. So the Ville 2-5 on the season. They will get back and get better. I mean, it's been a rough season. Yeah, I mean, Coach Raby, they're having a rough season. SUNY Morrisville. I want to go see a game. A lot's been happening last couple of weeks, so I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm I'm I just tested for COVID because I was feeling like crap. A lot of people getting sick. And you know what? It was I saw Pat, I saw Sue, I saw my goddaughter Olivia, I saw Marco and Roberto. Brothers. I haven't seen Roberto in years. Glenn also stopped by. I saw a lot of people I hadn't seen in a long time. Spent time with Gumbo Chef, Lanker, Harris, Danny. Saw a lot of people the last couple days. So thank you. It was great. Chris Poro stopped by from Olympia. Saw him. You know, it's great seeing people from your past. And great, you know, catching up. And now we have to rekindle these friendships because it kind of sucks. We lost touch, everybody, but now we're going to get back together and that will be a good thing. And yeah, makes me happy to talk sports. Yeah. Patrick, my man Higgins reached out to me and I appreciate the love. Delita, everybody sending me love. I appreciate it very much. Izzy and Daryl have now an apartment in the city, which is great because, I mean, Daryl's working his ass off opening a new bar in this boutique hotel on 28th and 5th. And Izzy has a job in the city. So going back and forth to Long Beach is just too much for anybody. And my phone is on the fritz. So I think I'm going to upgrade to a 15. Well, we're thinking about it. We'll see if that happens. But, you know, that's something I'm thinking about doing. Yeah, Notre Dame, 48-20, Caleb Williams, 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown. They were 24-3 in the second quarter. They turned all 3 of the interceptions into touchdowns, 251 yards of offense. Think about this. 5 takeaways, including a fumble recovery, return for a touch on the 4th. Sam Marvin, 126 yards, a touchdown. Audric Estime, 95 yards, a pair of scores. They're 6-2. They could go. They have a chance to go for 10 wins this season. Now USC dropped. They were top 10. They fell to 6-1. They still in the driver's seat. They're undefeated in the Pac-12, but I'd like to see them go out. And with a defense like that, they're just not good. And it's Notre Dame's largest against an AP top 10 since 95 when they beat number 10 USC 38-10. And Xavier Watts, 7 tackles. He used to be a wide receiver. 7 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble return, 1 touchdown. Wearing number 0. That's a picture I have on Instagram today. I mean, and Marcus Freeman, they got the job done. That is a big win. And they ripped. Well, they said the only people that had a worse day than Lincoln Riley was Jack Collinsworth and Jason Garrett. I think Jason Garrett sucks. Jason Garrett is a terrible announcer, and Collinsworth only gets that job because nepotism with his dad, that he got the job calling games years ago. I mean, I'm sorry, man. Jason Garrett is like watching a car rust. He sucks. The ginger has no soul, you know, as they say in Seinfeld. And every time he's on, I'm like, why is he on TV? Why do I have to hear him talk? And I love Dungy, but him and Dungy together, it's torturous. It is torturous. A guy for Tennessee just had a hell of a run. Was that Spears? Oh my God, Spears just had a catch. I think he went for like 50-something yards. Now with $1:44 left, they're 1st and goal, down 24-13. The Titans. That Spears just had a huge play. He went for at least 40 yards. I mean, Spears, man, damn. I was going to play him today too. What a run on that catch. I mean, shifty as hell. Tulane, 5-1 second straight year. First time since 73-74. They won over, I forget who they played. That was over the weekend. How about Colorado up 29-0 at the half, lose 46-43 in double overtime, and Prime Time has the audacity to say that he's not sure if the players have the love for the game because he says, I love the game. I don't need I have to love. Dude, you're the head coach. You're up 29-0 at the half. The first person we got to look at is yourself. You can't have your team blown to 29-0 lead. You can't. I mean, you just can't. It's unfathomable, in my opinion. I mean, you can't have. How do you blow I don't, and to top it all, it wasn't even that, but you had, I want to get this, uh, Alec Manor, 295 yards in the second half. He caught one where he took it off the back of Travis Hunter, who was defending him. 295 in the second half. No other player has 239 yards receiving this whole season. Thank you, Benjamin Yurosik. 295 in the second half alone, and overtimes. And a costly interception. They had 3rd and 2. Shadur Sanders, instead of throwing the ball away, tried to throw an interception in the second overtime. And then Stanford ended up getting the win. And they're 4-3 now, Colorado. And they have all ranked opponents. And Arizona blew out Washington State yesterday. Congrats, Big S, on that one. And there's a chance they will not be bowl eligible this year, which that was a win they had to have. Where Rutgers has 2-2 in the Big Ten because they beat a shitty Northwestern. They were down 24-6 in the fourth quarter against Michigan State. They scored 21 unanswered, and they went 27-24. They're 5-0 at home, first time since 2007, Rutgers. And Rutgers is 1 win away from being bowl eligible, and they play Indiana this week, which got blown out by whatchamacallit, by Michigan. Now we're talking about Rutgers being bowl eligible. I mean, let that sink in. Let that marinate for a second. I mean, really, right? And we have Dallas tomorrow night. We have Eckler's back. Anthony Richardson, they're talking about he might have to have season-ending surgery. He's talking about Devin Achane for the Dolphins is out with a knee injury after having a phenomenal beginning to his career in the NFL for the Dolphins, and he might be back week 11. That's a big one. Justin Jefferson could be out 4 to 6 weeks for the Vikings. Deshaun Watson's out today, so P.J. Walker is starting for the Browns. As I said, Daniel Jones is out with the neck injury for the Giants. I mean, that could be ugly. So Malik Willis tried to do he's still behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Oh my God. They still haven't scored, and it feels like every play they're calling a goddamn penalty. Every goddamn play, they're calling a penalty at the end of this game. Wow. Oh, yeah. Listen, I have so much material today. It's disgusting. But Simone Biles, what did I see here? Simone Biles. Oh, this is a fact. Yankees and Red Sox have the same amount of playoff wins this postseason as the Orioles, Blue Jays, and Rays, who all got swept. And everybody's upset because the top teams what was I going to say to you? The top teams had 5 days off, and we have out now. The Braves won over 100 games. The Dodgers won over 100 games, and the Orioles all went out. And the Orioles didn't win any. The Orioles got swept. Dodgers got swept by the D-backs, and the Braves lost in 4. And don't poke the bear with Bryce Harper, which they did. And they ended up winning in 4 games, which I'm happy about. I mean, I am not a Braves fan, and I'm not a Dodgers fan. Dodgers, the only time they won a championship the last couple of years was that goddamn 60-game bullshit season, and they really didn't have a lot of pitching, and Mookie Betts didn't do anything. Acuna hit 143 in the series against the Phillies, and then didn't talk to the media afterwards, which they said was a bullshit thing. But, hey, people get upset, and that's what happens sometimes, man. You don't play great, and it comes back and bites you in the ass. So now Tennessee had 1st and goal, and they can't even score. Malik Willis, well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of guys playing in the NFL. I'm sorry, Malik Willis doesn't look like a quarterback. Tannehill looked terrible today. I think Lamar Jackson had a lot of bad plays. And Baltimore today with this win is going to go 4-2, and Tennessee's going to fall to 2-4, and now they're going to go for a field goal, and they're down 8, so they got to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Yeah, that's going to happen. And Simone Biles, the Valentina Rodionenko, head coach of the Russian artistic gymnastic team, her dissatisfaction with Simone Biles' victory at the World Championships in Antwerp. She said she won gold in the team and individual all around, as well as silver on the vault. She said, "Is this gymnastics? It's scary to watch. It's scary to watch it. Do you think there's at least some kind of aesthetic there? Low. There's simply nothing to watch. She has no great performance, only difficulty. She only wins through difficulty." Wow. So what will artistic gymnastics look like? Surprise with tips? Unfortunately, during these World Championships, we did not see a single gymnast with a high-level performance. And I only can mention the Chinese and even Barr's disappointment, she said, in an interview with Match TV. And what did this guy write? Michael Harriet said, to be fair, the only reason Biles won is because she consistently does stuff that no one else in the entire history of the sport has been able to do. Yeah. No great performance, only difficulty. How do you even say shit like that? She does things. They have the Biles too. They named it after her because she does things that no one else does. So it's not artistic enough for you? Well, she's doing things. She's changing the sport. And that sounds like a lot of what's that? Sore loser? You know, that's what that sounds like. It sounds like a little whiny. I'll give you an ice cold Weineken over that one. I saw that. I was like, shut the fuck up. Stop your whining. Yeah, please. Yeah, disappointment. Well, you don't have, you know, if maybe you need to get your gymnast to start doing stuff that no one else can do. Difficulty means a lot to me. I would think so. Doing things that no one else can do, impressive, very impressive. Jeff Van Gundy, consultant for the Celtics, future coach, head coach of the Celtics. We'll see. Georgia got their 23rd win, but Bowers got his ankle on non-contact. He twisted his ankle. See how long he's out. Washington won because now I don't give Lanning. I don't think Dan Lanning. I'm okay with it. Going for a 4th down, 2 on goal to goals, and then at the end of the game where he was trying to run. If he got the first down, he ran out the clock. But Michael Penix Jr. had a phenomenal day. They're undefeated. They can. Now that's the thing. They can meet again in the Big Ten championship game. So could Texas and Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game. But 39-36, the game lived up to all the hype, and they missed a 43-yard field goal to send it overtime. Oregon, Bo Nix played pretty well, but 0 for 3 on 4th downs, and that's the way the cookie crumbles in that front. And then it's over. We were leaving last night, so I didn't get to watch all that game. Missouri beat Kentucky 38-21. Florida came back and beat South Carolina. Florida State, North Carolina, Louisville got blown out by Pittsburgh. They're only the second win of the year, 38-21. And this is after Louisville beat Notre Dame. We were talking to Treetop about that, how that was a bad loss for them. I agree. And Louisville missed Jawad Jordan, who played 2 plays, and bettors were upset because they said, hey, is he playing or is he not playing? What does it matter? He played 2 goddamn plays. It didn't affect the game. Oklahoma State, which was to South Alabama, got blown out, then lost to Iowa State, beat Kansas State, and beat Kansas yesterday. And they have a shot at a 10-win season. And everybody was saying maybe this is the end for Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. They got the win. K-State, Will Howard threw 3 picks last week, so they went with freshman Avery Johnson. Ran for a school record 5 touchdown, 38-21 over Texas Tech. That's a big win for them. And K-State hosts TCU 4-2. K-State is 2-1 of the Big 12. TCU is 4-3. Colorado State came back and beat. They were down 30-10 at Boise State midway through the 4th quarter. 3 touchdowns. Hail Mary from Braden Fowler Nicolosi to Dalen Halker. No time remaining. A PAT gave a 31-30 win. And Boise State has not had a losing record this far in the season since 1998. 98. How about that? That's bonkers. Liberty, Hugh Freeze went to Auburn. No big deal. They beat Jacksonville State on Tuesday. They're 6-0. They lured Jamie Chadwell from Coastal Carolina. James Madison 6-0. But you can't. Once you transfer from FCS to FBS, you have to wait 2 years to go to be eligible for a bowl game. So they're just winning games and they can't do anything about it right now, which really sucks. I don't like that. Maybe 1 year, but 2 years you can't play in a bowl game. So they won. They beat Georgia Southern 41-13. Best team in the Sun Belt who can't play in a bowl game. Graham Mertz for Florida, 30 of 48, 423, 3 touchdowns. And they scored a touchdown with 47 seconds left, 41-39 over the Gamecocks. They're now 5-2, 3-1 in the conference. That's a big win for them. I love that Jimbo Fisher lost again. 2013 to the Vols. They're 4-3. Volunteers improved to 5-1. 5th time in 6 years that Texas A&M has lost at least 3 games. They still owe him $95 million. I love it. Tennessee's 5-1, 2-1 in the SEC. Max Johnson, who has Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Petrino coaching him. Well, and their quarterback gurus, might I add, 16-34, 223, 2 picks. They have a week off, then they host South Carolina. They have trips to Ole Miss and LSU, $95 million. How are they going to be able to give that up? Right? That's not happening. But can you imagine that? Holy shit. 5 or 6 years, they've had at least 3 losses. And I know, and next week, I'm going to Texas on Thursday. Thank God I don't have COVID, but, I'll feel better by then. And we're seeing them play Houston on Saturday night. We're going with Dom and Hal. And sorry, Hal, but I am not rooting for Texas, for Houston over Texas. They play, the ALCS starts. And if there's a game 6 next Sunday, he says, I'm going. And Max Scherzer is on the ALCS roster for the Rangers. He hasn't pitched in a while. Will he make a difference? I don't think so. But hey, anything's possible, right? We'll see how that goes. I love the Tess Walker, 6 for $132, 3 touchdowns, 41-31 win yesterday. I love that win. They were 12th. They'll probably jump up. They could be on a collision course with Florida State in the ACC championship game. They do not meet in the regular season. Also, UNC does not go against Notre Dame in the regular season. Colorado. So during the football game, his IG story was posting merch for sale. And I feel Sugar Sanders, very good quarterback, but you haven't done anything yet. The team hasn't done anything yet. I know you're driving a $190,000 car. I know you started this whole thing with the watch, and everybody's doing it now, showing the watch off. I know you have a $70,000 watch and all that stuff. And, you'll sign a NIL deal with a watch company. But I also feel like, something has to be said about, accomplishing things and being worthy of all this. I mean, your team's 4-3. You won a couple games to start the season. You were the darlings of the college football. And I still think you've had a successful season. No doubt. No doubt a successful season. But I feel like this stuff is out of control. Just out of control with all this, the cars the kids are driving and all this. I'm glad they're getting paid. But, it's like giving an 18-year-old a brand new car. Some things you want to earn. You've earned those things. And I feel like there's a lot more work to do. And, I feel like, it gets to the pros and everything. I'm not saying he doesn't have the work ethic, but I just feel like it's too much too soon, especially not doing anything yet. I mean, you're 4-3 this season. I know you won 1 game last season, but, you lost to a bad Stanford team. You were up 29-0 at the half and you couldn't finish them off. 29-0. You got to put a team away. And they didn't. And then for, prime time to call out the players, I was like, love the game. I love this game. Well, then, maybe you got to look hard at, and everybody's got to look hard at themselves after this one and say, how do we blow a game like that? I mean, that was ugly, my friends. That was very, very ugly, to say the least. I mean, that was, and I stayed up. That's why I stayed up until 2:14 a.m. East Coast. That game ended, 2:14 a.m. I was going to sleep. I was falling asleep. I stayed up to watch the game. That's probably why I have a cold right now. I feel run down. To watch the end of that game. And I watched them blowing it time and time again. It's like they couldn't put him away. And Sanders leads college football in passing yards and sacks. He takes a ton of sacks. And he's elusive at times. But, I mean, that's interesting. Leads in passing yards and also leads in sacks, which is crazy. Yeah. Bad loss. It was the biggest comeback ever in Stanford program history and the biggest blown lead ever in Colorado program history. And Travis Hunter, 13 catches, $140, 2 touchdowns. He did get burned a lot on defense, but I'll tell you that guy's, I think he's even better on offense. The catches he makes, I'm like, good God, he is really good. And Sanders is a very good player, but we're going to see if, Arizona won their game. It's going to be tough. They face UCLA, which UCLA won their game against. Who did UCLA play? They blew out somebody. Oh, they blew out. They lost to Oregon State. So they still got UCLA. We got UCLA coming up. I mean, they got some tough games. They go to Utah, trip to Washington State. I mean, there's a chance they're not going to make a bowl game. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, and Bama was up, 21-3. They held on 24-21. Saban is now 200 wins, 28 losses. He's won 78% of his games at Bama. And they have had Jalen Milroe has been sacked 31 times in 7 games. They're undefeated in the SEC. They're right now they're in the driver's seat to get the SEC championship game. And the most sacks they've had in the season since they became official in '83 was 43 and 96. They've given up 31 in 7 games. Not a good sign starting off. Oregon State blew out UCLA. There's 3-1 in the Pac-12. Bruins quarterback Dante Moore did not have a good game. He threw a pick 6 for the second straight week. One of 3 interceptions. Arizona blew out Washington State 44-6. Congrats, Big S. And next year, the Big Ten goes to the top 2 teams in the Big Ten championship game. Iowa, 6-1, 3-1 in the Big Ten, and they have the driver's seat in the West, where quarterback Deacon Hill, because K. McNamara is out for the season, 6 for 14 for 37 yards. 6 for 14, 37 yards. They beat Wisconsin, 15-6? Because LaShawn Williams had an 82-yard touchdown run. And it looks like, they're going to win 11 games again, and they're going to get blown out in the Big Ten championship game. Crazy. And this is crazy. The St. Louis Cardinals Academy in Dominican Republic, our men broke in, taking the players out of their rooms and holding coaches as hostage at gunpoint. They robbed money and jewelry from various players. In past few weeks, the Cleveland Guardians and Miami Marlins have also been robbed by armed men. Usually they only took baseball equipment, but now Academy have been dealing with armed men taking cash, valuables from safe boxes, and only coaches and players at gunpoint. Thank you, Hector Gomez. I mean, listen, we got this shit going on. We have the stuff going on in Israel with the Palestinians. And I'm not getting into politics here, but you know where I stand. I'm part of the tribe, man. So, I mean, you go in and you kill innocent people, you kill children and all that stuff. You're not playing. You're not playing on an even playing field. You can't do stuff like that. And I know. I'm sorry. And they're protesting here in the city. I don't think you have much to protest about when you're doing stuff like that. You're killing innocent children, a pregnant woman, an unborn baby. Yeah. Enough said on that front. You know where I feel on that. The NCAA launches first ever sports wagering e-learning module. If you don't have the money, don't gamble. And when you're behind too much money, stop gambling. That's the e-learning module. Don't do it. Usually college kids don't have disposable income. And if you do have disposable income, take a trip somewhere. Go somewhere you've never been. Spend it on your significant other. Buy something, buy some clothes. Buy something. Gambling? No. Yeah. House always wins. And Barry Melrose is taking a leave of absence from ESPN. Parkinson's? No. That sucks. And today we have game 3. Liberty down 2-0 to the Aces. Teams up 2-0 in the WNBA playoffs. Best of 5, 17-0. It's not a Liberty, only have to win 3 in a row. And Michael Wilbon was saying the crowd at Barclays is the worst in the WNBA. The fans aren't into it. I listened to some games there. It seemed like they were pretty much in the game. But at least they're getting hate, to say that. Very interesting. So I said Max Scherzer is back. Acuna did not hit well. The Braves are the first team to be eliminated by the same team in consecutive postseasons since the Astros in 2004-2005 by the Cardinals. 3 100-win teams, as I said, including the Orioles, 5-day break. Don't blame the layoff. I don't blame the layoff. I think that they didn't play well. So the 5 best teams in the 2023 MLB regular season went a combined 1 for 13. You had the Braves 104, Orioles 101, Dodgers 100, Rays 99, Brewers 92, and all lost in their opening playoff series. And additionally, for the first time in MLB history, not including shortened seasons, the 4 teams in the LCS finished the regular season with 90 wins or fewer. So the Astros and Phillies and Rangers all won 90 and 72. Diamondbacks 84 and 78. So tonight's game 1 of the I think it's 8 o'clock start today for Rangers Houston, and then tomorrow Diamondbacks Phillies. And if the Phillies beat the Diamondbacks, they would have home field advantage for the World Series over the Astros. But the Rangers would have the home field advantage over the Phillies. And Castellanos became the first player in playoff history with back-to-back multi-home run games. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Love it. 3 teams won 100-plus games. They went 1-9 in the postseason. Braves only team to win 1. Yes. First time per ESPN, none of the top 5 teams reached the championship series. Phillies were 17 games back in the NL East on September 13th. Arizona finished 16 games back in the Dodgers NL West. That's your NLCS participants. Teams that score first, this is from Sarah Langs, 15-7. Teams to out-homer opponents are 14-1, 22-6 last postseason. They're 14-1 this postseason. 53% of the runs have scored via home run was 43% in the regular season, 41% regular season this year, and 47% in last postseason. So there's a lot of them. And Wander Franco will have to wait for clarity and investigation before he can play in the Dominican Winter League as well, which I'm not shocked about because that's not going away anytime soon. I have a feeling he's never going to play baseball again. I mean, maybe, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's done for good. And Connor Bedard, his season opener win over the Penguins, averaged 1.43, becoming the network's most viewed regular season NHL game. It was Blackhawks Penguins. One day later against the Bruins, 917,000 at TNT, the second largest recorded viewership of all regular season games on the network, with the first being the 2022 Winter Classic, which drew over 1.3 million and set the record for the most watched cable NHL regular season game. He had a point last night too, so he has a point in every game. And Austin Matthews is on pace for 246 goals. He has a hat trick in his first 2 games. Hat trick, 6 goals in 2 games. And I saw that Jack Hughes, 2 goals in their first game. They won their first game. I can't remember. And they lost to the Coyotes. He had 3 assists, 5 points in 2 games. Yeah, they beat the Red Wings the first game. 2 goals, 3 assists in the loss. Rangers won their first game 5-1. Chris Kreider has 3 goals in 2 games. They lost yesterday to Columbus 5-3. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Seahawks, Cincy, that's 1 o'clock. That should be a good game. Of course, I got rid of Joe Burrow, who I'll throw for like 800 yards today. Detroit at Tampa Bay. I sat Goff because of the defense, but now I'm thinking I should have played him, so I'm going to play C.J. Stroud, who's going against New Orleans. Panthers, Dolphins. Panthers haven't won this season. Colts, Jaguars. Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback for the Colts. Vikings, Bears. Vikings and Bears, both 1-4. Saints at the Texans. C.J. Stroud, please have a good game. The Niners at the Browns. So it's P.J. Walker, no Deshaun Watson with a rotator cuff injury. The Commanders at the Falcons. Patriots at the Raiders. So it's McDaniels going against his former head coach, Belichick. Cardinals versus the Rams. Eagles at the Jets. Giants at the Bills. It's going to be a color rush, so the Bills are going to be in red. And tomorrow night, Cowboys versus the Chargers. So, and Dan Orlovsky, he says he watches every snap. I will not go on television to talk about a game or a play if I haven't watched it. In 2021, I would sit down at 1 p.m. on a Sunday and with 5 games on between my TV and laptop, spend the whole day watching football. Said it was too much, wanted more time with the family. So around 4 or 5 on Sunday, I will start watching games that I know I'll be talking about Monday. We watch every snap. I watch tape until about 10 or 11 on Sunday. He'll wake up at 4 in the morning on Monday, start watching Sunday Night Football on the way to New York City from my house in Connecticut. And throughout the day on Monday, I'll start watching games that I haven't watched yet. Wake up at Tuesday at 5. I'll send clips to our producer. He said he's usually get most of the games done by Wednesday. He said there might be a game or 2 I get done by Thursday at the latest. He said, I don't say that brag. I say that because I truly, in my core, believe that we owe it to the people at home to actually have watched what we're talking about. It takes about 16, 18 hours in total, but I love it. Isn't that kind of cool? And he says, but this is interesting. This is from Richard Deitch, put this in The Athletic. He said, I think by the time you get to mid-October, teams start to show you who they are as long as they are healthy. At that point, you have a good feel about who is who in the NFL. And I didn't understand why Oregon and Washington was called the Cascade Clash, but it's about the campuses are only 285 miles apart, and it's about the Cascade Bridge or something. That's what they call it. So it's like, all right. So USC has now lost 6 straight to Notre Dame. UNC has beaten the U. I think that was 5 straight. I think it's 6 straight too. And Fresno State only loss is to Wyoming. They beat Utah State. They're 6-1. And Jeff Tedford got a $75,000 bonus from the Bulldogs, 6-1 of the season, and become bowl eligible. Yeah, Tulane, as I said, 5-1 starts, back-to-backs in 73-74. They beat Memphis. How about Houston, West Virginia? Houston gets their first Big 12 win. West Virginia scores a touchdown. And Houston lead. Garrett Green ran a pater to cut Houston's lead 35-32 with 3 minutes left. Then Green found Hudson Clement on a 4th and 10 for a 50-yard touchdown to put the Mountaineers up 39-35 with 12 seconds left. Final play of the game, Houston quarterback Donovan Smith launched a prayer to the end zone, which Stephon Johnson caught, and they got the win. 41-39. All this happened last couple of minutes. I mean, that's nuts, right? SMU's 4-2. That's good. Nice. They're first in the AAC with a 2-0 conference record. And 40-point games the last 3 years. Georgia 20, the Dump 20, Bama 18, Southern Cal Tennessee 18. And win streaks right now. That's what I was looking at. The win streak totals. That's what I forgot to. Mr. Hale always puts up. I like the David Hale. Georgia's won 23 in a row. Washington's won 13. Florida State 12. Air Force, Penn State 11. James Madison 9. And Michigan 7. Pretty impressive, right? Those are pretty impressive totals. We are 57 seconds to red zone. Oh, love it. I love it. Red zone. It's like the greatest time of year, isn't it? Red zone's always the best time of year. You can't get enough of it. I mean, it's like ADD football. It's like keep it on, and I can't get enough of it. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, football Sundays. I'm sweating. So Charles Oliveira forced to withdraw. Fight against reigning champ Islam Makhachev, UFC 294 on October 21st. The red zone is the best thing ever. Josh, I totally agree on that. I totally agree with that one. So Volkanovski is going to take the fight on 11 days notice next weekend in Abu Dhabi. They rematch when they fought at UFC 284. Makhachev won by unanimous decision, and Volkanovski was trying to become a two-division champ. That didn't happen. We'll see what happens there. How about this? 3 rings for Sidney Crosby, 2009, 2016, 17. The Penguins' Chris Letang, Sidney Crosby, and Evgeny Malkin has surpassed the New York trio of Jorge Posada, Mariano Rivera, and Derek Jeter as the longest tenured trio in NHL, MLB, NFL, and NBA history. 18 seasons together. Isn't that crazy? It's like, damn. Or is it 11? No, it can't be 11, because if they won that many together, yeah. It's like, damn. And how about this kid? Rintaro Sasaki, 140 home runs in high school. He's decided to study abroad in the U.S., take his baseball career to the next level. Hasn't decided on college, but will reportedly attend Vanderbilt University. 140 home runs in high school. Pretty impressive. And Duke, Kansas, Kentucky, North Carolina, and UCLA, true blue bloods. First time this past week, all 5 are ranked in the same AP poll for football since 1936. Crazy, right? Crazy. Yeah, and Stockton yesterday beat New Jersey City University 5-1. Aiden Honish had 2 goals. Their unbeaten streak to 5 straight matches. They're 8-2-5, 2-1-3 in the NJA, New Jersey Athletic Conference. And their next game is against. They'll go to Camden on Wednesday for a matchup against Rutgers Camden. Game time is scheduled for 7. Congrats to them. All right, that's good. Hofstra running. So Michigan's boss, Ken's son, Brian Beck, is him and Daniel Torillo last weekend finished in the top 10 in the Metropolitan Championship 8K race last Saturday in Branch Brook Park. Torillo's a freshman, and Beck is a sophomore. Torillo finished 4th in a time of 25:04 and 53 seconds in the 8K, which is 4.96 miles. And Beck finished in 25:52.99. Hofstra finished 4th as a team at 104, while Columbia took the team title at 29. Seton Hall came in 2nd overall at 93. Not bad, huh? They'll be at the CAA Cross Country Championships in Williamsburg, Virginia, October 27th. And I'd be remiss if I didn't give shout out. Gumbleship's son August is on the cross country team at his high school in Glen Spey in upstate New York. When he first started, he couldn't even run a mile. Well, he just had a race where he ran a 28:35 5K. It was hot out. He'd run the race before, ran a 28:02. This was a kid who couldn't even run a mile, and now he's running 5Ks, which I'm like, dude, I am so impressed with you. I mean, he's running under 9-minute miles. He's only going to get faster. I mean, that's wow. And SUNY Morrisville, I'm so proud of him. August, I told, 43, I got to tell. And send stuff to Hal, Josh. I got to put 40. I got to put the time. But I am so proud of August, how well he's doing with this. That he's committed to it. He's doing it, and he's getting it done. Very impressed. Very impressed with you, August. That you committed to something, and you're excelling at it, and you're just, dude. You started, you couldn't even run a mile, and now you're running races, and you're only going to get better. So I say you stay with the sport. You run in the off season, and you see how far you can take it. And the great thing about cross country, it's just you competing against yourself, which I love. I love it, man. I love that so much about it. Yeah, and SUNY Marshall had 100 yards of total offense. They lost to Utica 24-6. Yeah, and I butcher his name, and I don't want to butcher his name today. Omar, what did Omar say to me? The internet is out of control I thought his internet was out. So I was like, oh, crap. Was it out? No, it wasn't out. So I'm trying to find. I always butcher his name. Oh, and I'm trying to get Emma Kane, who does the intermission reports for the UNC Tar Heel hockey team, who's split with UNC Wilmington Friday and Saturday. So I wanted to get her on. Emma Kane on in a future broadcast. Yeah. I'm trying to find Steven. Yeah. I butchered your name. I'm trying to, it's Ferrerix is the starting quarterback. 13-30 for 115 total yards at 100 yards of total offense. And the next game is against, they'll host Brockport next Saturday, 1 p.m. kickoff. So good luck. 2-5. The Ville will be back. And you can't get upset about it, right? I talked about Rutgers, 21-0 fourth. Yeah, Michigan State's terrible. And they play against Michigan next. -20 in the fourth quarter, Michigan State. 5-2, 6 win mark for the first time since 2014 if they visit Indiana, who's terrible. Yeah. Kyle Manangi for Rutgers, 148 yards rushing. He's a beast. They said there were 52,000 and change announced, a couple thousand at the end. Well, they're getting blown out in the fourth quarter. Outgained Michigan State 120 to -20 in the fourth quarter. Hey, they showed up in the fourth quarter, got the job done. Let's see if they can carry it over. Mel Tucker's gone, and that team, oof. Yeah, so they host Michigan next week. Michigan is on an 18-game win streak in the Big Ten. Oh, they're already fighting. Trent Williams doesn't take shit from anybody. They're already fighting at the Browns. I like the Browns with the all white against the Niners. Dartmouth, the men's basketball team, they were saying they had a hearing with the labor union to see if they are employees under labor law, and it was argued that they should not be considered employees because they are unpaid members of a money-losing program whose need-based scholarship don't depend on their participation or talent. So I guess that's it. Yeah. And the Rangers outscored the Cowboys 11-10 last Sunday. Kind of funny. And lacrosse will be in the Los Angeles Olympics 2028. First time lacrosse has been contested at the Olympics since 1908. Thank you, Zach Barnett. Flag football is coming to the 2028 Olympics, including baseball, softball, and cricket are the other sports being considered. That's what, baseball and softball can be back in 2028. They're not going to be in France. It was introduced in 92. Softball was added in 96. Both removed from the Summer Olympics in 2012. They returned in 2020, but not in this Olympics. We'll see if that happens. And the Olympics in LA will take place July 14th through 30th, 2028. And allegedly, reportedly, Harbaugh is going to get a new extension and will make him the highest paid coach in the conference. I think Ryan Day is making over $9 million. I think he's the highest paid coach right now, but we'll see. Sam Howell back to throw. Was that a catch? I think that was a catch. Yes, it was. By Curtis Samuel. Good going. Charlotte. Yeah, so Charlotte football, they lost again yesterday. The only team in college football to allow at least 3 plays of 70-plus yards and 2 80 yards and 2 90-yard plays this season. And Illinois, Jerzon Newton, 24 quarterback pressures, leads all defensive tackles. They said advertising on the $2.3 billion MSG Sphere cost $450,000 for a 4-hour window on a single day. The Sphere was lit up for the Raiders-Packers contest on Monday Night Football. Yeah, Jets. Yeah, and they said Sal insisted that he wants the team to give Hurts 11 kisses, 11 hits. Yeah, well, let's see if that'll happen because, I mean, we're going to see what happens. He got Sauce out. Kirk Cousins, Adam Schefter said, is staying in Minnesota, will not be traded. The Jets did not take out a disability insurance on Aaron Rodgers. They could have recouped 20 of his $37 million owed him this season. DJ Reed is out. Sauce Gardner's out. Xavier Gibson, ankle injury. I didn't see if Gibson, Xavier Gibson, that would hurt them because he's great in the kickoff game. Xavier Gibson is, let's see, questionable 1 day ago. So that is not what I was looking for. Yes. Yeah. Of course, nothing. Did not see if he's out. So I guess he's questionable. He's still playing. Jalen Carter's out for Philly. A lot of guys out. There's a lot of guys out. But Nakobe Dean is going to play for the Eagles, and they have a lot of talent on that line. A lot of talent on that line. I guess we're going to see what happens on that front. Oy, that could be ugly. But we're not going to get ahead of ourselves, right? You know, I mean, you still have to play the game. Zach Wilson still has to play. Yeah, Darius Slay's out. Justin Evans, Quez Watkins is out. The Jets are the NFL's #1 draw on TV so far this year, despite losing Rodgers game 1, Chiefs and Cowboys next 2. And McAfee reportedly pays $1 million to Aaron Rodgers to be on the show. And it comes out of his own pocket. Okay, well, I guess if he can. My motto is if I'm making money, let's try to give this away to everyone that's helping me make money because everybody invested is going to make our show better. I don't disagree with that. So they said that the show is licensed by ESPN by agreement, and it's McAfee's company that would be paying Rodgers. Yeah. So L. Collins did not sign with the Jets. They looked like they were going to trade McCall Hardman, but if Gibson's not playing that many, Hardman can play. Vera Tucker's out with an Achilles. Played 12 games the last 2 years, 7 last year, 5 this year. Second straight season. He suffered a season-ending injury in Denver last year. He tore his triceps. That really sucks. Yeah. Yeah, it really sucks. Yeah. Yeah. And, yeah. Jets won, hey, but, you know, CJ Uzoma said before the game, fuck him and fuck them about Sean Payton. Said if somebody talks shit about somebody on this team, we're going to play for that person. And yeah, hey, the Jets got to win. Now they got to win another game. They had to win in Denver. They won in Denver. And now they got to get it done this week. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Cam Newton said you need more than $5.5 million to come to the Jets. Keep the money. We don't want you. And they're paying, so Lawson and Hardman, $8 million and $3.6 million, healthy scratches, $11.6 million guaranteed on the bench. And Bumbles is like, why? Why not play the games? And Robert Saleh said that he went to the Niners to draft Quincy Williams in 2013. Jags got him too early. He was happy when the Jets claimed him off waiver 2021. He sent Dave Caldwell, the former Jaguars GM who drafted Williams in the 3rd round, a text saying he was right on Williams. Caldwell was fired before Williams was cut. Tyrod Taylor is 26-25-1 as a starter in the NFL. He's making $8.17 million guaranteed. Average salary of $5.5 million. No Andrew Thomas. Schmitz is out too. Pert, the backup. Evan Neal is having an ankle injury. Even when he plays, he's not good. I mean, this game could get ugly, dude. I mean, they didn't look good last week. Evan Neal has allowed more quarterback hurries, 21, than any other offensive lineman through 5 games. Allowed more total pressures, 26, than any other offensive lineman in the league besides one. He's allowed 4 quarterback hits, and a sack. And he said, why should a line concern himself with the opinion of a sheep? Okay, well, 7th overall pick, 2022. Not good. Yeah, I mean, it could be ugly. Ugh, Daniel Jones, man. Oy. Woohoo. Yeah, I don't know, man. I took the Lon thinks there's a chance they could win maybe 1-2 games the rest of the season. And they play the Jets too coming up. I mean, it's bad. And Daniel Jones 1-12 in primetime games. He won't get number 14. 11 of the opponents finish with or currently have a 500 record or better. He's 5-21 record against teams that finish with a winning record. Worst winning percentage in 2019 for any quarterback with at least 20 starts. And not a good season. Well, he's not playing this week. So, that's the end of that. Lowest scoring offense in the league, 11.5 points per game. Last year, 21.2. Yeah, and TJ Watt suffered a badly dislocated finger and tore multiple ligaments in Sunday's win over Baltimore, and then got fined over $13,000 for taking his helmet off after the game. Like, dude, really? Really? Come on, dude. That's bullshit. Yeah, and I don't disagree that Pittsburgh, Tomlin last year, crappy quarterback play, TJ Watt out, went 1-6 with losses to bad teams and killed by elite teams, Buffalo and Philly. Something to be said about that. Yeah, George Pickens, man. He won it for me last week. So he's never had a losing record. 2 field goals against the Ravens, 1 safety and a block punt, 1 TD with failed 2-point attempt, 3 turnovers forced, won 14-10. And that's a Mike Tomlin Steelers game win if there ever was one. Oh, man, I saw something yesterday. Somebody said something. There's some funny tweets out there. People put funny tweets up. Yeah, Derrick Henry, 14th career run of 50-plus yards. The only players with more since 91. Hello there, Michigan. Adrian Peterson with 25. Barry Sanders with 24. And I thought they were going to blow the game again. Because they've had 5 blown games, 5 losses with double-digit leads since the start of last season. The Ravens and the Raiders. 8 losses with 7-point fourth-quarter leads since 2020, most in the NFL, the Ravens. And 10 losses when leading entering fourth quarter since 2020, most of the NFL. But they held on. And, hey, Lamar was 13-17, $149 in the first half. Tannehill was 6 for 10 for 61 yards. And Derrick Henry, since 2018, over 7,400 yards, 70 touchdowns, and 33 100-plus yard rushing games, all lead the NFL since 2018. Yeah. Michigan, 18 straight. The last loss when they lost to Michigan State 2 years ago. Yeah. I love that Jack Collinsworth and Jason Garrett suck because they suck. And Florida State has 12-1. They beat Syracuse 41-3. I mean, that's ugly. That is just ugly. Ugh. And the most penalties UNC in 25 years, 13 for $132. That they got to get under control. Yeah. Tyler Van Dyke did not look good at the end of the game. He looked like shit. Michigan outgained Indiana 306-40 in the second and third quarters. They were down 7-0 at the end of one. I mean, goddamn. And Donovan Edwards at the end of the first half, dude, let him have a touchdown. His first of the season. Give him the goddamn ball. What are you guys doing? Give him the ball. Give him the ball. I mean, really, give him the goddamn ball, man. Ugh. How do you not do that? I mean, and he was pissed. He told them to, he sent the team off at the end of the first half, and Harbaugh sent Blake Corum. And I was like, dude, give the ball to goddamn Edwards. You don't want to piss off. You don't want to piss off these guys. It's a team game, and you got to spread it around. And he said Blake Corum's better at short distances, but I call bullshit on that one, man. I love when I put the extension cord in and it sparks. That's a good sign when things spark, right? That's good, right? That's healthy, right? No, it's not good at all. No, not at all. Yeah, not good at all. Joey Porter, they said should be in games more. He 91.4 coverage grade last week against the Ravens. Key interception in the end zone was a bad pass again by Mr. Jackson. Yeah, and Mark Cobley said if the season ended like last week, Steelers would be the AFC North champs. Dude, you've played 6 games. Why do they put this stuff up? I mean, it's just dumb shit to put up. Yeah, I mean, Dan Campbell said he's hopeful Hendon Hooker, the rookie out of Tennessee who blew out his knee, will make an appearance in some fashion this season. He's been rehabbing. You see that? Did you see Aiden Hutchinson on a one-handed picking off with one hand last week? Good God. The first time since 2011. Last time, 2011, they went 10-6, lost in the wild card of the Saints, 45-28. That was the year Giants won the Super Bowl over the Pats. Harris went to that game. And Eminem says Detroit strong, which I agree with. Emmanuel Mosley, who was in his first game back after recovering from a left ACL tear, suffered in Week 5 the year before. He tore his right ACL after tearing his left ACL last season. 2 snaps. That sucks. See that shit, you're just like, good God, dude. I mean, that sucks. You see that, and you're just like, good God. That is ugly. That is very, you hate seeing guys get injured. You hate seeing guys get injured. And it's like, I know it's next man up and stuff, but you're like, good God. You don't want to see guys get hurt like that. Oh, they just missed the field goal. Saints-Texans 0-0. I got to see how my guy's doing. Yeah. Got to see how my guy's doing. I'm always, yeah, and that's the thing. You look at guys differently now. You're like, oh God. Yeah, Matthew Judon's on IR. Malik Cunningham got a 3-year contract. He elevated to the 53-man roster. Maybe he's going to play. They say Mac Jones is the quarterback right now. Let's see how long that lasts. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see how that goes. So Mac Jones not going to make any changes. Yeah, I guess we're going to see. I guess they're saying, they're just not playing good balls the last couple of years. And Mac Jones already has 4 career pick sixes in Gillette Stadium, as many as Tom Brady had his entire career, and he played there 20-plus years. So 2 straight weeks, shitty losses. Been outscored 72-3 the last 2 games. Shut out by the Saints last week. So just because I wanted to know, J.J. Cooper said, myself, and so I worked it up, Bill Belichick's head coaching record, pre-Brady, 91-95, 2000, and without Brady, 2008, and post-Brady, 2020 to 2023. Regular season, 78-89, 1 win in the postseason, 2 losses. Worst 5-game start since 2000 when they went 5-11. 38-3 the loss to the Cowboys, 38-4-0 to the Saints. Yeah. He doesn't have players. It isn't crazy. And Alvin Kamara has the most touchdowns in franchise history. He passed Marcus Colston, the former Hofstra great. Crazy. Khalil Herbert on the IR. And the backup is also down with, that's not good. Yeah, the rookie they got Deontay Foreman, Darrington Evans, who was signed to the 53-man roster of the Dolphins practice squad, and fullback Kari Blasingame, Rashawn Johnson concussion, and Travis Homer hamstring. They're probably out. That's crazy. A lot of guys hurt. Six, and this is from Adam Harstad. Harlan Hill is one of 6 wide receivers to be named league MVP. Jerry Rice, Pete Retzlaff, Gino Capoletti, Lance Allworth, Harlan Hill, and Don Hudson. That's it. And DJ Moore, first Bears player in the Super Bowl era with 200-plus receiving yards, 3+ receiving touchdowns in the same game, second most ever in franchise history, and they snapped a 14-game losing streak. Yeah, not good. Yeah, not good at all. Yeah, crazy. The Cards, they said they're not going to rush back Kyler Murray. James Conner missed multiple games. Knee injury. He's going to the IR for 4 games with a knee injury. He had a 35-yard run in the second quarter, twisted his knee last week. Not good. That's a guy they're going to miss. Yeah, a lot of teams dealing with a lot of injuries. And Dick Butkus died last Thursday. He goes, I worked hard at becoming a professional football player, just like society says you should. It said you had to be fierce. I was fierce. Tough. I was tough. 8-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro during his time in the NFL. 27 fumble recoveries, Bears record, and he was in Gus. He was. And Philly's 5-0 for the second straight season for the first time in franchise history. Pretty good, man, right? Yeah. A fan got in the locker room, which should never happen. They were looking around like AJ Brown was like, who's this guy? Alerted the team, got into the locker room at SoFi Stadium. It's kind of crazy, right? Yeah. Yeah, Chase Claypool, who was just acquired, is not active against the Panthers today. Jalen Ramsey's ahead of schedule. They think he'll be back. By November 12th, they think he can return November 19th against Vegas. That would help them down the line. And Achan, 7 touchdowns, 527 total yards last 3 games. That one's going to hurt. That's going to hurt a lot. And how about this? Tyreek Hill, 4 175-yard games since last season, the most in the NFL. That's crazy. That is nuts, right? That's crazy. And I didn't know. So listen to this. I didn't know this. Desmond Howard has the single season record for punt return yards, regular postseason combined. He had 1,085 for the Packers in 96, and he was the MVP of the Super Bowl when they beat the Pats 35-21 in Super Bowl 31. He had a 99-yard touchdown on a kickoff. He's the only special teams player to win the MVP in a Super Bowl. Crazy, right? Crazy. Yeah, Ravens got the win. A lot of drops last week. Lamar Jackson says we don't expect our guys to drop balls. And Rashawn Bateman was being interviewed after the game, and they said he dropped the mic at the podium. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, oh, my God. Tyler Boyd. I was going to play Tyler Boyd. He just had a touchdown. Motherfucker. You know, I always say to myself after the fact, easier said after the fact than during it. Oh, basketball today. Iowa women's basketball is playing at the football stadium today. It's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. Caitlin Clark. I love that. Lincoln Riley says, we got to fix the things that we got to fix. We got to coach and play better. But is it in our power? Is it something we're capable of? I believe it to my core. We're going to work our ass off to get it done. Wow. And Joe Paterno's 409 wins. Nick Saban, of active coaches, he's 28 behind Amos Alonzo Stagg. And Mac Brown is 1 behind Frank Beamer and 7 behind Nick Saban at 279. Michigan is the only FBS team to win every game by 20-plus points this season. Congrats to them. Omari and Hampton had another 100-yard game yesterday. Mizzou is bowl eligible in October. They can finish the season 1-4 and still cash out over 6.5. Texas State setting up a battle for bowl eligibility next week with Troy. Both are 5-2, 2-1 in conference. North Carolina, 30 points in each of its first 6 games this season. First time since 1914. It's pretty impressive. USC has been outcoached. The Trojans are about as effective as the ones in Nick Cannon's life. Thank you, Jasmine. I thought that was hilarious. Austin Matthews opened the season with back-to-back hat tricks. He's on pace for 246 goals. Yeah, I love that Tez Walker had all those touchdowns. Yeah, Oklahoma State beat KU 39-32. KU is not going to be top 25. Not a chance. Michigan, man. Got it done. All right. Touchdown for Texans. That's going to be good for me. Lakers fan hit a 3 at the buzzer, and Mike Green was able to say bang. I thought that was funny. Most triple-doubles by a teenager. Josh Giddey with 4. 3 of the 4 in 5-day span. Broncos Chiefs scores big on Prime. 13.83 million viewers, up 57% compared to last year's comparable game. Commanders versus the Bears, which sucked. Viewership peaked at 15.5 million. All 5 of Prime's 2023 Thursday Night Football games have posted double-digit viewership growth over the previous year's comparable games. Season 8 Thursday Night Football averaging 13.6 million total viewers, 26% increase versus last season. Congrats. Oh, and Gomashев brought me back a po' boy that I got a little love from. In Hawthorne, New Jersey. What is the name of the po' boy place? Oh, yeah, it's called, what's the po' boy place? Shit. Search. Yeah, the po' boy place is Tim's It's Tim's Po' Boys and Wings. Famous Louisiana sandwiches, wings, and Cajun cuisine, bringing a taste of L.A., of Louisiana to New Jersey. 409 Lafayette Avenue, Hawthorne, New Jersey. I'll give you some props. Yeah, it was really good. It was a really good shrimp po' boy. Really freaking good. I really liked it. It was quite enjoyable. I had a wonderful time eating it. Every second of it. Walt Garrison passed away. I remember when we did the Skulls commercial, 79. Yeah, I remember him in the commercials. And he also rode horses. The team said he would go out after team meetings and compete in local rodeos as a steer wrestler. He returned to the team hotel before 11 p.m. Said it wasn't started, was returning punts and kicks and covered on the kamikaze squad, he said. And that's all I was doing in hell. You could get hurt worse on them than you could rodeoing. You know, that I didn't think much of it, but the Cowboys did. He did in the offseason. He pointed out that there was a clause in my contract that if I got hurt to another sport, that my contract would be null and void. And I said, oh, okay, I didn't think rodeo was that dangerous. He was injured in 75 while steer wrestling and called it a career in football. He was also a national spokesman at the height of his career for Skull. 39 touchdowns, Pro Bowler during 72. He had 74 yards rushing when in Super Bowl, was it Super Bowl 3? 4, 5? When they beat the Dolphins 24-3, I called out the reporter of Fox News because he said 14-3. That's not right. Leighton Vander Esch would place an injured reserve with a neck injury. Week 5 against the Niners, they got blown out. Started 5 games a season. He was playing well. He was a communicator on defense. That's a guy you're gonna be. It's gonna be hard to replace him. That's a guy you need on the field. He's the quarterback of the defense. And Micah Parsons now, hey, you know, did you see he got fined? George Kittle, he had a T-shirt that said "Fuck Dallas" T-shirt. He got fined for it. He said, "Laugh now, cry later." He said, "We'll get them, better." And Stephen Jones said that Dak Wilson has grasped Mike McCarthy's off. Mike McCarthy should not be. I talked to Daniel about this. He should not be calling plays. Yeah, Stroud TD, baby. Thank you, Josh. Stroud TD. I know I'm talking too much today, but good God. And then they were comparing Dak to Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers won playoff games. Steven Ruiz, why are you comparing him? And they're saying, no, he doesn't suck. He's not great. He is. He's an okay quarterback. He said, they got blown out last week. He said, I didn't see it coming. This might be the most humbling game I've ever been a part of. Dude, come on. They allowed 2 touchdowns in their first 4 games against Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, Joshua Dobbs, and Mac Jones. None of them are, and Purdy threw 4 last week. So come on. Let's be honest. Dak Prescott is not the guy leading you to the promised land. He isn't. He isn't that guy. Let's get over it. Move on. Enough said. Yeah. Oh, come on, man. I mean, enough already. And Marshawn Lynch laughed in the face of Pete Carroll after Russell Wilson's Super Bowl when they lost to the Pats. I would have too. Yeah, Kellen Mond is now in the practice squad for the Colts. You don't want him playing games. He's 24. He sucks. He's not that guy. And Anthony Richardson, if he's hurt. So this is a guy who tore his MCL 2021, concussion 2021. Week 1, he had a knee bruise, ankle soreness. Week 2, concussion. Week 5, AC joint sprain. 6'4", 250, big dude. And he actually sustained an AC joint sprain in his throwing shoulder during his senior year of high school, sidelined for the rest of the season, as shown in the Netflix documentary series QB1 Beyond the Lights. And did I see that all of them happened outside the pocket? They said maybe it's a reevaluate your playing style. I said, no, it's ball. The injuries I've gotten so far, it's nothing crazy. I banged my knee to turf. Everybody gets hurt on turf. Just hitting your knee really hard on the hard surface and then hitting my head on the ground, that's part of the ball. I can stay healthy. You really can't right now. But I think they all happened outside the pocket, if I'm correct. That's what I was looking at right now. Oh, and Taylor got an extension, 3 years, $42 million, $26.5 million guaranteed. A week after Zach Moss had 195 yards on the ground. Yeah. Yeah, crazy. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Titans came back, but didn't get the job done. Did not get the job done. Yeah, and Brock Purdy's not elite, Shannon Sharp, product of the system. Well, it's a hell of a system. Doesn't everybody have a system that works or doesn't work? I don't know, man. I feel like, he's a hell of a player, man. He really is. They're 17-1 since losing to the Chiefs last season. McCaffrey, 14 straight games with a TD. They're averaging 30. Unbelievable. They're playing unbelievable football right now. 17-1. That's crazy, right? This is into the Chiefs. 14 straight. They're averaging 30.2 points since the trade from the Panthers. He lost a fumble last week in the red zone. So John Riggins had 15 straight. O.J. Simpson had 15 straight. McCaffrey's tied with Emmitt Smith for second most ever. And they're undefeated in games McCaffrey has started. So 14 starts are undefeated. 8 straight games with 30 points. Rams had 14. That was the greatest show on turf in 99-2000. Yeah. Crazy. And they got Randy Gregory for a seventh. They sent a 7th-round pick to Denver. Denver trading Randy Gregory and a 7th-round pick to the Niners for a 6th-round pick. So they're going to pay him roughly $10 million for the remainder of the season, the Broncos. 3 years left on his contract, none of it guaranteed. But it looks like a $6 million signing bonus next season. He didn't play this past week. Gets a fresh start. Jeez Louise. And Van Jefferson's now a Falcon. A couple years ago, yeah. 8 catches for $108 this year. He did have a good season in 2021 when they went to a Super Bowl. 802 yards and 6 touchdowns. Maybe we can rekindle that. He's a good player, man, but we'll see. Maybe he'll get some more playing time. KC 16 straight over Denver. 19-8. Not a lot of points scored. Kelsey had 9 for $124. That's what Harris was saying. The chunky soup is the new curse, like the SI cover. That's the new thing. Yeah. Frank Clark got released for the Broncos. They said he's going to sign now, probably with the Chiefs. Justin Watson, no structural damage for a dislocated elbow. They said he should be out a few weeks. He got hurt the Thursday night game win over the Broncos. Mahomes has now beaten all 31 teams except the Chiefs, who he plays for. 10th starting quarterback to beat 31 different teams. First to do it before age 30. Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers called him Mr. Pfizer. So Kelsey said, who knew I'd get into a vax wars with Aaron Rodgers, man? Mr. Pfizer against that Johnson & Johnson family over there. It's pretty funny. So Eckler's going to be back. David Bakhtiari, season-ending knee surgery. Justin Jefferson out 4 to 6 weeks. That's not good. That's not going to be good for them. Bucks, creamsicle. Mike Evans, full go today against the Lions. But Mayfield said when he passed a good one the other week, my dick got hard as soon as I saw him running in the motion back because they had a hot mic on him. Okay, dude. I mean, you're that excited. Good luck to it. Good luck. And the Panthers are 0-5 for the first time since 2010 when they drafted Cam Newton after that season. And they were I didn't hear anything about this, but NFL was considering disciplinary action for Jamal's actions during concussion doctor during Monday Night Football blowout over the Giants. Justin Fields taking off. Jamar Chase only had 52.2 points last week, but 15 catches, 200-something yards, 3 touchdowns. Matt Milano and defensive tackle Daquan Jones on injured reserve. The A.J. Klein, former linebacker, is now a Bill, but that's a big loss. Milano's a huge loss for them. And Stephon Diggs got fined over $13,000. He took the beers against the Dolphins. I think that was funny. The Raiders have at least thrown at least one INT in 12 straight games. The longest streak since 1984. And they've allowed 44 points or turnovers this season. Only teams to allow more are the Panthers with 45 and the Pats with 55. Yeah, I think Aiden O'Connell could be the guy playing going forward. We'll see if that happens. C.J. Stroud passed Dak Prescott's 177 passes without interception. Good for him, man. Another guy hurt. Oh. Yeah, C.J. Stroud. He's the third most passing yards for a player's first 5 games without an interception. How about this? Drew Brees started 229 games with Sean Payton, never once had a QBR as low as Russell Wilson did Thursday night, 10.1. Thank you, Paul Hambakidis. Thank you for that one. Yeah, 1-5. Ugly. 13-22, 95 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. First game of Wilson's career, now in his 12th season, in which he finished with fewer than 150 yards passing and 2 interceptions. They had 8 possessions that went 34 or fewer yards. Didn't put a scoring drive together until the fourth quarter. That game was ugly, folks. They're 4-16 in his 20 starts. The Broncos traded 5 draft picks, including 2 first-round and 2 second-round picks, along with 3 players to the Seahawks in 2022. Not good at all. Not good. And P.J. Walker today is the 36th different starting quarterback for Cleveland since returning in 1999. That is nuts. And Joel Bitonio, the all-pro guard for the Browns, started 102 consecutive regular season games. Knee scoped during the bye week. He's out. They want to have Watson or Bitonio. Crazy. And in the 1970s, I love this. Howard Cosell of ABC Sports was voted the most liked and most hated sportscaster on television. And, well, now, 900,000 viewers several times since Shannon Sharp joined with Stephen A. Smith. The National Spring Football League, USFL, XFL combo to sell franchises in 3 to 4 years. Will they be around in 3 to 4 years? Who knows? And there was your TV isn't broken last week. Earth and Disney satellite are in direct line with the sun, causing a sun outage and brief interruptions in ESPN. I saw that. I was like, damn. Yeah, that's crazy, right? Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I love that he's back. So Jim Harbaugh uses an analogy about opening a jar of olives, turning it upside down. You turn the olive jar over, nothing will come out because they're packed in so tight. If you can just get one to shake loose, then they all just start bloop, 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 popping out. So I guess that worked there. They won 18 in a row. Last loss was to Michigan State. Overcame a 16-point deficit to win a top 10 showdown in 2021, but they are not the same team this season. And we'll see what happens. And last year, they had the fight in the stadium tunnel, which led to some guys being kicked out. They beat East Carolina. UNLV is now 5-1. They beat Nevada 0-6, but UNLV has won 5 straight since they lost to Michigan. Bowling Green, I said, beat Georgia Tech on the road. Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana. Okay. And thank you, Alejandro Zuniga. Michigan football is outscoring opponents 93-0 in the third quarter through 7 games. And this was broken, but going into the game against Indiana, they played 313 plays on defense over its first 6 games. Not once have they had to defend a first and goal, and they ended up getting interception. They never got to play inside the 10-yard line. That happened the 7th game of the season. That's crazy. Washington, Oregon in, UCLA out, and they're not going to play no Wisconsin next season and no Rutgers in Maryland. So we'll see about no Oregon in 2025. But, it's good. Big Ten, new schedule's out. We'll see what happens. Michigan will play 3 of the former Pac-12 teams in 2024. Road trip to Washington. Home games against Oregon and USC. The Dump will travel to Eugene to play Oregon in the Ducks' first year in the Big Ten. USC will play either Michigan or Ohio State each of its first 5 years in the league. There's 12 protected annual matchups. Illinois, Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, Indiana, Purdue, Iowa, Minnesota, Iowa, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, Maryland, Rutgers, Michigan, Michigan State, Michigan, Ohio State, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Oregon, Washington, UCLA, USC. They have to be. Let's see how this goes going forward. I guess games are going to have to start early in the West Coast. I don't think they'll have a 9 a.m. start, though, right? That'd be crazy. They kick off at 11 a.m. Central Time, noon Eastern. They will not have 9 a.m. local games. Thank God for that. Yeah, that can't happen. Colorado, he wasn't happy about the time. And Shadur Sanders' watch is a custom stainless steel Audemars Piguet. I can't pronounce that. And she said it to me. Royal Oak, 15,500 with 30 carats of VVS diamonds. 70,000. He got that when he was playing at Jackson State. Why? And what did an anonymous Pac-12 coach says? Jadir Sanders is taking sacks, so his completion percentage doesn't get affected via the athletic. Why? Stat padding? Why would he do that? I know he holds the ball a little too long, but come on. And how about this? South Alabama commit Fluff Bothwell. He plays for Oneonta. He had 24 carries. He had 265, 5 touchdowns on the ground, 4 catches for a $122, 2 touchdowns catching. He threw a pass, 1 pass for 40 yards and a touchdown. And on defense, 17 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a sack in a 62-36 win. Threw for a touchdown, ran for 5, caught 2, threw for 1, had a sack, 3 tackles for loss and 17 tackles. Yeah, and Cam Rising, yet to play. He had a serious knee injury. So ACL, that's not joke. You know, I mean, they love him to play. He's not playing. And Oklahoma receiver Andrell Anthony in the Red River rivalry, season-ending surgery, led the Sooners' former Michigan transfer. He was having a season. So that hurts them. That was a big loss. That's a guy, you know, catching a lot of footballs. You lose him, not good. Unbelievable. Yeah. We'll see what happens with the dump, too. Yeah, Georgia's 120th. Brock Bowers. We'll see if he misses any time. Yeah, I'm trying to see the AP top 20. Yeah, Brock Bowers is a hell of a tight end. He's going to be great. Pat Fitzgerald, he's suing Northwestern for wrongful termination between 100 and 130 million. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Yeah. Louisville, after beating up, man, they lost to Pitt. I can't believe that. What the hell, man? Yeah, Michael Penix Jr. is probably right now the guy to that's the guy. That is the guy to Heisman leader right now. That's what I think. Jordan Brand signed Jet Howard basketball. The 11th overall pick, Jamie Jacquez Jr. the 18th, Cam Whitmore the 20th, and Marcus Sass the 25th to the Jordan Brand. So that I was like, oh, that's very nice. And Erasmus High School went to go play. Actually, they played this weekend. The NFL Academy at the Tottenham's Hotspurs Stadium on the 10th. Pretty cool, right? That's kind of cool. Epler resigned. I saw that. Pete Alonso, he's hired Scott Boras, so he's going to want a lot of money. Going to want a lot of dineros. Yeah, and supposedly Epler and Buck Showalter butted heads over Daniel Vogelback, who had a really shitty season. I mean, you know, I don't know what the big deal was him, but come on. Oh, and then, you know, you heard about the thing with the injured list. Epler decided to resign before that happened. How's this happening? They said there's an 18% decline in average viewership for the wild card round. I just think there's, you know, you're competing against football. Of course there's going to be, you know, I mean, and the good teams are gone. And the Marlins were a minus 57 run differential, lowest of any playoff team. I love the Dodgers. Dodgers won 100 this year, 111 last year, 1-6 in those playoffs. They won 106 in 2021, lost to the Braves in 6 games in the NLCS. 2021, 60, won the title. 2019, lost to the Nats in 5 games, 106 wins. Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. And they had 4 solo home runs in the game-clinching game, the Diamondbacks. And Dodger starters thrown 4 2/3 innings in 3 games against the D-backs. That's the fewest innings pitched by starting pitchers in the first 3 games of the series in MLB postseason history. That's why you lose. So Mookie Betts had 107 RBIs in the regular season. Mac Muncy, 105. JD Martinez, 103. And Freddie Freeman, 102. They had 1 RBI by JD Martinez in the 3-game series. 1. Didn't hold the lead the entire 3-game series. Yeah. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. And Clayton Kershaw, first starting pitcher in MLB postseason history to allow 5 hits and 5 runs before recording an out, got charged for 6. Shortest start of his career, regular in postseason. He's throwing a playoff all hitter, they said. Yeah, and Jordan Alvarez, 4 home runs in the series against the. Who did they beat? Who did Houston beat? Houston beat. Oh, the Twins. You know, hell of a series, man. 7 straight years to the league championship series. Now let's go. Let's go, Rangers. And the Orioles were not swept a single time during the regular season. Yeah, they joined the 1998 Padres as the only team in MLB history to not be swept in the regular season. But the Padres were swept by the Yankees in '98 in the World Series, so that's a little different. Better team won. They got outplayed. Did not play well. 3 games here. They're here. Boom, done, gone. History. Adios. And the Braves, the one game they won, they came back from 4 down with no hits through 5 innings and scored 4 and won 5-4 that game. And that's when he got doubled off because the center fielder that was a hell of a catch in center field. And Orlando Arcia called him out because he got doubled up. So we stared on Arcia when Michael Harris robbed Nicholas Castellanos, would be extra hit, got doubled off, and they ended up losing game 2. Then they won the last 2 to win the series. And he was staring them down, and he goes, "Attaboy." They had T-shirts made "Attaboy," which I thought was pretty funny. Yeah, Braves done. How about this? Dave Kingman, greatest last season ever, 86. 35 home runs, 94 RBIs. The A's let him go. Why would you let him go? That's kind of crazy. And Tim Raines on October 6, 2001, Tim Raines and Tim Raines Jr. left. Tim Raines played left. Tim Raines Jr. played center field together for the Orioles. They became the second father-son plays for the same team, the same game. Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. Raines Jr. batted leadoff on 1 for 4 with a run stolen base. Stat went 0 for 4, but an RBI 5-4 loss to the Red Sox at Camden Yards. Yeah. And Dave Bush was fired by the Red Sox as the pitching coach. Fado says he's going to come back for an 18th season. Told Dan Patrick. The Reds hold a $20 million option. Should they decline it, he'll be owed $7 million. But I know he only played 91 games, but you got to bring him back, dude. Homered in his second plate appearance this year. 202 batting average, 14 home runs. Oh, last year he had 14 home runs. Yeah, I mean, let him come back. That's the guy you keep. So the Mariners have the same number of playoff appearances in their 47-year history, 5, as ruptured testicles suffered by their players. I know the 5 guys who have their testicles ruptured. It's pretty impressive, right? Brandon Woodruff he is going to have surgery to repair the anterior capsule on his right shoulder. Left off their wild card roster. 2.2 ERA through 67 innings, 2-time All-Star. He's probably going to be out for the whole season. Next man up, man. Yeah. Tampa Bay has now lost 7 playoff games in a row, 11 behind Minnesota for the record. And Carlos Correa passed Derek Jeter for the 3rd most RBIs in the postseason. Hey, they won their first playoff series in 21 years. Congrats to them. Rangers advanced to the ACLS since 2011. They're 5-0 the postseason. Last year, that in 2011 they lost the World Series in 7 to the Cardinals. Yeah, I guess we're going to see what happens. Max Scherzer coming back. Said he feels good. Will it matter? I don't know. We just don't know. And Sandy Alcantara, Tommy John surgery, will miss all of next season. He did not pitch well. 4.14 ERA, 3 complete games, 7 and 12. Yeah, something seemed off with him the whole goddamn season. Yeah, I thought this was interesting. Don't say gay for the NHL. Dan Le Batard show. Yeah, I agree with that. And even at the Penguins game, they were saying fire Matt Canada, which says something right there. Lindsey Ruff, an extension with the Devils. They won a playoff series last year over the Rangers. Rangers 1-5 in the preseason. Well, same thing happened 2013-14. Went to the Cup, lost to the Kings. And Pride Night now, so there's no more, won't be allowed to put Pride themed tape on their sticks. Basically, they won't be able to do anything. They won't wear any jerseys or anything. They can celebrate their own way. I don't know if they're allowed to wear the tape. They could be suspended, but I said, oh, okay. So that's how it goes. And Owen Power signed a 7-year, $58.45 million extension the number one pick in 2021. 4 goals, 31 assists are locking him up. Good for them. Trevor Zegras playing with Leo Carlson, who was the second overall pick. He's excited for him. And Vegas is 3-0, man. Vegas looks good. And Miles Jack and his mother, Lasana Jack, just became the first African-American majority owners in ECHL history, only second in professional hockey history after the purchase of the Allen Americans. The Allen Americans Professional Hockey Club. Ryan Reeves facing the Minnesota Wild. He says, sometimes when you're better friends with them, you want to lay them out a little more. Unfortunately for them, I became pretty good friends with all of them. And this is from Chris Chelios, Instigators Hockey. When I played in Montreal, my arch enemy was Dale Hunter. And I guess I hated him, especially when he played for Quebec. He was a great player, scored an impressive number of important goals, but he hurt me a couple times, hit me from behind more than once, and once blew my knee out. I tried to hit him, but I never really hurt him, not like he got me. Once I was coming across the blue line and was watching my shot after I'd really cranked it. I woke up in the Montreal dressing room. My first words were, let me guess, Dale Hunter? Source, Chris Chelios, made in America. And Gordie Howe, first game of the Stanley Cup semifinal, March 20th, 1950. The Leafs were up 4-0 when Howe tried to shake things up with a physical play, but when he targeted Leafs legend Ted Teeter Kennedy, Kennedy saw Howe coming, dodging the hit at the last second. Howe crashed headfirst into the boards, suffering a concussion and numerous fractures. More seriously, his brain began to swell, and doctors had to drill a hole in his skull to relieve the pressure. He made a full recovery. Thank you, Toronto City News. I was like, holy shit. That's some scary shit, guys. I read that. I was like, holy crap. Yeah, Josh. Yeah, when I got into the show, I lost all track of the time. How about this? Since the Knicks took a 3-2 lead on the Rockets in the 1994 NBA Finals, New York area pro basketball teams are 4-21 in the NBA WNBA Finals. Liberty are 1-7, with the only one being Teresa Weatherspoon's half-court heave in 1999. Yeah. Crazy, right? Yeah. And Game 3 till today, after all those days off, I don't get it. Yeah, crazy. Game 1 averaged 729,000 viewers on ABC. Most watched WNBA Finals games since 2000. Fourth largest audience for Game 1 since the league switched away from one-and-done championships. Also falling behind 98-99. And John Cole Jones has recorded a double-double in all 7 games of these playoffs, which is the most double-doubles, consecutive or not, in a single postseason in WNBA history. There were a lot of people at the game. San Francisco expansion team owned by the Warriors to start playing in 2025. Joseph Lacob says they'll win a title in the first 5 years. Aaliyah Boston the Indiana Fever All-Star Rookie of the Year will be a studio analyst during Big Ten women's college basketball coverage this season. I think that's a cool thing for her. Don't go play overseas. Hallie Cavender, her and her twin sister led Miami to an Elite Eight last season. Well, they both said they were retiring to go into media, and now it's Hallie says that she and her twin Hannah that she intends to play Hallie in 2024-25. And Inte Wang moved to his family 77,000 miles from South Korea to New Jersey in 2020 to pursue a career to officiate basketball. He was named a full-time NBA referee for this season. And Bob Cousy had some, a lot of people bash old-time basketball. He goes, who gives a darn if we played plumbers and firefighters? At least we didn't play against a bunch of TikTok dancers and Twitch streamers. We played against men. They said, Cat can come to the Knicks. Come on. And the ESPN's top 100, Brunson at 32, Randall at 45, Barrett at 71, Josh Hart at 91, Quickly at 92, and Mitchell Robinson at 100. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And Thibodeau talks about a trained eye over analytics. Yeah, he says that's I kind of agree. To me, it's a trained eye. What are the things that you value, that you think are most important to winning? Overtime field goal percentage has always been at the top of my list. Rebounding margin is always at the top of my list. Do you challenge shot correctly? Are you making your opponents take the shots that you want them to take? Are you taking the value shots out of the game? Those are the things I mentioned. Yeah. Now, they said Ben Simmons is averaging this preseason 16 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists, 16 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 64% from the field. I told Billy Reinhart, hopefully he'll play 45 games. Said he's played 40 the last couple seasons. Maybe he'll be comeback player of the year. Javis will go crazy if that happens. Will it happen? I don't know. But there's a chance it could, right? There's a chance. Yeah. Kyrie Irving. Thank God they didn't do that. You know, and they got Dennis Smith Jr., they got Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker averaged almost 12 a game last year for the Lakers. Dennis Smith Jr. averaged over 8 points a game last year for Charlotte. They said if Simmons, from the New York Post, if Simmons had been healthy last year, Kevin Durant would have stayed in Brooklyn even without Kyrie. Easier said than done. He said he feels the best he's felt in a while. James Harden feels that the relationship with the front office of the Sixers is beyond repair. Do we care anymore? I don't. Clippers are trying to get, more assets to get Harden. Why? Sixers want multiple firsts for him. I wouldn't give it. And they want Terrence Mann from the Clippers. Good luck with that. Yeah, I don't see that happening. And Kyrie is now the chief creative officer of a Chinese firm that's accused of relying on forced labor and other human rights abuses. Yes. Joel Embiid said he's going to play for the Team USA in Paris in 2024. Interesting. Yeah. Bobo's happy to be playing for the guy he grew up worshiping, Kevin Durant. And the Sun and Mercury are planning to build a new business headquarters on a dedicated state-of-the-art practice facility for the Mercury, 100+ million, 123 square feet. Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, is stepping up. Yeah, Tim Kawakami. So Legion of Hoops said that Steve Kerr plans to start Draymond Green over Kevin Looney, and he said, I never said that. He goes, I guess I'm not going to be following them anymore. Yeah, LeBron, will he play a lot? Well, LeBron, decade by decade, Jesus. Basically, 2000s, 28 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 5-time All-Star, All-Defense MVP. 2010s, 27-8-8, 10-time All-Star, 5-time All-Defense, 3-time MVP, 3-time champ, 3-time Final MVP. 2020s, 27-8-8 again, 4-time All-Star, champ, Finals MVP. It's just amazing. Drake dropped Dylan Brooks on another late night off his For All the Dogs album. Shorty ran some Dylan Brooks. Can't believe this. End talking. Damn, my bank account is Magnolia. Millie rocking. That's why I don't rap. I just don't. And Kevin Cale reacting to Michael Jordan's retiring. I guarantee people may not believe it or not, but if 5 people will be saying, Michael, who? The names on the back of the jerseys change. The league just keeps rolling on. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Good luck. And Dylan Brooks picked Ryan Reynolds over Drake in August for the Canadian national team. It happens, And the most points all time by a player with under 20 points a game, Tim Duncan over 26. Paul Pierce over 26. Kevin Garnett did not average 20 points a game. And Kai Jones put up this crazy video. Now he wants to be traded by the Hornets. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, good luck with that. And Nemanja Bjelica is said to be ending his basketball career. 2015 EuroLeague MVP, had NBA stints with the T-Wolves, Kings, Heats, and Warriors, winning a championship in 2022. Yeah, Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. I'm very curious how this is gonna pan out. I am very excited. Yeah. And Jabari Smith was the first rookie in NBA history to have 1,000+ points, 500+ rebounds, 100+ 3-pointers, and 50+ blocks. Jabari Smith Jr. is on the. He's on the. All right, Jabari Smith Jr. He's on the Rockets, right? Yes. Reebok announces president of basketball, Shaq, and VP AI, Allen Iverson. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah. Caitlin Clark, I'm psyched. Opening night, the Hall of Fame series in Las Vegas, USC for Ohio State, Oregon versus Georgia, that's the men, then Colorado versus LSU, and then USC versus Kansas State. True TV will broadcast the early portion, TNT in prime time. Very cool. Megan Rapinoe's final game, 34,000. Final home game with the rain. Saudi Arabia could have winning the rights to preside over the 2034 War. Please. Not good. Oh, but they got all the money. Yeah, UNC women, number 3 in the country. Morocco's women, the former coach of the Spanish women's team, who was fired with the Luis Rubiales kissing Jenny Hermoso without consent. Jorge Vilda has been named Morocco's women's coach. Yeah. Max Verstappen clinched his title in Qatar last week. Simone Biles is the most decorated gymnast in history, 21st overall title. That's to her, man. She is awesome. Rutgers field hockey 12-0, number 6 in the country. Pat McAfee, this is interesting. While in high school, McAfee was better known for soccer than football. He was invited to a kicking camp in Florida. Of course, around 1,500. Parents were in no position to give him that kind of money. He borrowed $100 from a friend, drove into Pittsburgh to play an illegal poker game in a seedy part of town, turned that stake into $1,400, then borrowed the additional $100 from his folks to make the trip. Down in Florida, he blew it up, and one day later, he got a scholarship from West Virginia. Bet on himself, and sound familiar? Yeah. Yeah, Dylan Dennis, that fight against, I mean, what? Something happened. They were throwing punches after the bell. Yeah, 16 punches across 15 minutes. So then the security teams came in. They called it disqualification. We called that Conor McGregor. Like, really, dude? Who cares? What? Who cares? Yeah, let me see. Did I miss anything else? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Good. Thank you so much. My dentist. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. I'll be able to sleep better knowing that my dentist called me. Andre Osiris saved this one first NFL TV. Rodgers is back at life without crutches. That's what I'm trying to. Let me see if Samuel, the question will return. He has a shoulder injury. Christian McCaffrey, 15 straight game with a touchdown. That's the longest. It's tied with John Wiggins, not the second longest. Jamar Chase has 7-11 cleats. Oh, 7-11 chain. Oh. Let me see if the AP Top 25 came out. Comes out AP Top 25 college football. Georgia, Michigan. No, I don't know that. Georgia, Michigan, dump. Florida State, Washington, Oklahoma, Penn State, Texas, Oregon. Bama 10, North Carolina 1 spot. Ole Miss, Notre Dame from 21 to 13. USC, Oregon State, Utah, Duke. Louisville went from 14 to 18. I think they should have dropped. They got blown out. Why? Tennessee 19, LSU, Missouri back in, Air Force, Tulane, James Madison, who can't play, and this is projected to drop out. This is not the actual. Yeah, I thought. Wait, this is predicting. Oh, it's in. Okay, let's see. All right, so it's out. Okay, here we go. This is the real poll. Okay, Georgia's 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3, Florida State 4, Washington's up 5-2, up 2 spots to 5. Oklahoma went down 1 spot to 6. Penn State up 1, down 1 to 7. They blew out UMass 6-3-0. Texas up 1 to 8 after a loss. Oregon down 1 to 9. So Washington went up from 7 to 5. Then it's North Carolina 10, up 2. Wow. Bama's 11. Oregon's up 3 to 12. Ole Miss 13, stayed the same. Utah's up 2 to 14. Notre Dame went up 6 to 15. Duke up 1 to 16. Tennessee up 2 to 17. USC down 8. Yes, from 10-18. LSU up 3 to 19. Missouri unranked 20th. Louisville down 7 to 21, which I think it should be out. Louisville. Air Force, first time in at 22. Tulane, 23. Iowa is not 24th in country. And UCLA down 7-25. Nice going. UNC, 10th in the country. Holy shit. All right, let's get to some. All right, let's see how I got to see how I did. Yeah, let me see how I did. Yeah, and thanks for Josh for listening. I know I've been talking way too long. I haven't done a show in a while. I just felt like I needed to get things going. All right, let's see how JD's doing today. Oh, I just went. Oh, CJ Stroud, 7.48 points. Tyler Lockett already has 9 points. Yes. I got 19 from Tucker. My defense got 13. And yeah, all right. Yes. And Goff isn't playing till later. Okay, Tyler Boyd has 15 points already. Motherfucker. You should have played him. And Spears had 7. I was going to play Boyd. That's all right. All right, let's do trivia questions from last show. Yeah. Running on empty. Do. Let me stick it too long. Okay. Let's get to some trivia questions. Okay. Who's the MLB's all-time leader in home runs by a second baseman last show? Jeff Kent, 377. Robinson Cano next with 335. Roger Horsby with 301. Kirk Bidger with 291. Ryan Sandberg, top 5 with 282. But he still hasn't made the Hall of Fame. Today's trivia question. Who has the most no-hitters, one-hitters, two-hitters, and three-hitters in Major League Baseball history? It's one player. Most no-hitters, one-hitters, two-hitters, and three-hitters in Major League Baseball history. That's all I got today. Hal, Josh, Pat, Sue, Olivia, Roberto, Marco, Glenn, Danny, Lanker, Gumbo Chef, Chris, Porro. Thank you all. I'm sorry it's been a while. It's going to be a little crazy. I'll be back tomorrow. So we got football today. Treetop. So happy for you for ND's win. I'm so happy. USC lost. Oh, and Teddy. And Mike Merwin. And Linda. And Carol. And Dr. J. And Harris. LG. I talked to Lita. Everybody. Thanks, Patrick, Mr. Higgins. Thank you, everybody. Zulema. Sabrina. I know I'm forgetting people. Oh, and the Core 4. And Tom and Steven and Broccoli Rob and Jay. Am I forgetting other people? I feel like I am. I'll tell you, Bijan Robinson is freaking amazing. He's a player. Hal and Dom, I'll see you in a couple days. Yeah, I got to go. All right, I said on my left, Mom, Michigan, Mrs. S, my dad, Carol and Carol. And August. August, you rock. You really rock, August. So proud of you. I really am. And Thomas, congrats, Stockton. SUNY Morrisville, always another game. Always another day. Stockton, let's get it done. UNC hockey, congrats. Peace out, everybody. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Adios.